the Arabic language should not be the goal. It should not be the goal, it should be the means to the goal. And the goal is to be able to worship Allah and understand what Allah is saying in His book. According to the scholars of Islam and the scholars of the Arabic language is a Semitic language. It is a Semitic language. And for those who don't know what Semitic means, and Allah knows best, Semitic means those languages that primarily come from the Middle East. Primarily, in general, a general definition could be any of those languages that come from the Middle East. Like, for instance, Syriac. Like, for instance, Aramaic. Like, for instance, Amharic. Like, for instance, Hebrew. And Arabic is one of those languages. And the scholars of Islam, more specifically the scholars of linguistics, or the language of Arabic, they say that Arabic has in its origin geographically the area of Yemen. Yemen, in the strongest opinion, the scholars of language, specifically with Arabic, that the home and the origin of the Arabic language is Yemen. And then from there it spread. And when we look at the narrations that talk about the Arabic language and the Arabs, if we go back and look at those books written by the Muslim writers, and more specifically the Arab writers, and even the Orientalist writers, those who are called mustashfiqun, we find that this is the case. This seems to be the strongest opinion, that the Arabic language and the Arabs, the origin of them is Yemen. If we look at some of the narrations, like for instance the hadith in Sahih al-Bukhari, where the narrator, the Rawi, whom I remember inshallah, and Allah knows best, is Ibn Abbas. Inshallah ta'ala is Ibn Abbas. Where he said that the Prophet ﷺ in the hadith is a very lengthy hadith. It's a very lengthy hadith in Sahih al-Bukhari, where he said that the Prophet Ibrahim ﷺ took his wife Hajar and his young son Ismail ﷺ, and he left them in Mecca. And at that time, Mecca, there were no people, and there was no cultivation, no vegetation, anything there for them. And he left his wife there with a water skin and some dates. Some of us probably remember this narration. A water skin and some dates. And so when he was about to walk away to go to the foundation of the Kaaba, he walked away from his wife and his small child. She asked him, "Where are you going?" And he didn't answer. She asked him a second time, "Where are you going?" He didn't answer her. She asked him a third time, "Aina tadhhab?" Where are you going? He didn't answer. Then she said, Allahu amaraka bihada? Did Allah order you to do this? And since we're doing this talk on the Arabic language, and we find this in the Quran, some places in the Quran. Here, for those who are at Markaz al-Bayan or studying Arabic, wherever you're studying Arabic, barakallahu fikum, you don't find the ismul istifham, the particle or the noun of interrogation or asking the question. You don't find hell. Halillahu amaraka bihada. Was it Allah that ordered you to do this? And nor do you find Allahu amaraka bihada with the hamza istifham. But rather you find it with a madda. Allahu amaraka bihada. Did Allah order you to do this? And then Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, he said, Naam. He said, yes. And then she said, then Allah will never forsake his servants. Allah will never forsake his servants. And he left his wife and his child there. And then the story continues in the hadith where it shows that Ismail grew up. He grew up. And when he grew up and became a man came to the door, knocking on the door. And his wife that Ismail had married was asked by that elderly man, where's your husband? Where's your husband? And she said, he's out getting our livelihood. He's out getting the things that we need, the food and the things that we need. And he asked her a series of questions, 2 or 3 more questions. And then when he returned, before he left, he said to her, tell your husband, I said, change the gate to the door, the threshold of his door, or the threshold of the door to his gate. And so when Ismail came back, he said, I sensed that you had a visitor. What did he tell you? Who was it? She said it was an old man. An old man. All the way to the end of the story. The point that we wanted to make is that woman that he married was from a tribe called Jurhum. The tribe of Jurhum. And when you go back to the explanation of that hadith, Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani al-Hafiz, he says that tribe was from Yemen. And the origin of those people from Yemen, some people say, was from Al-Habasha, from now called Ethiopia. Some people say that. And this is where the scholars differ with regards to the Arabic language. Did Arabic come from originally Ethiopia to Yemen, or did it come from Yemen to Ethiopia or Abyssinia? They have a difference of opinion on this subject. Nonetheless, it seems as though the strongest opinion is that Arabic the origin of it is Yemen. Because in that hadith, it says that Ismail learned Arabic from them, from his wife's tribe. That Ismail learned Arabic from his wife's tribe, the tribe of Jurhum. And we know that there are 2 types of Arabs. There are 2 types of Arabs. The first type are called Al-Arabu Al-Ariba. Al-Arabu Al-Ariba. And the other ones are called Al-Arabu Al-Musta'riba. The first, Al-Arabu Al-Ariba, are the ones who are pure Arabs. They're pure Arabs. And their language, of course, is Arabic. They're pure Arabs in their language, in their culture, in their customs, and their mores, everything. They think Arabic, talk Arabic, live the Arabic culture. We're not talking about the Arabic languages specifically. We're talking about everything together. Everything about them is purely Arabic, meaning no other language was their language, and then they learned Arabic, which is the second type of Arab, which is Ismail. Al-Arab al-Musta'riba are the ones who become Arabs. Their culture becomes Arabic. Their language becomes Arabic, but originally they were not Arabs. And for those brothers who are sitting here who are Arabs, I know at least one is sitting here who's an Arab. They'll all tell you that their language, their Arabic, the dialect they speak, is the best one and the closest one to Fusha. The Egyptians say it, the Palestinians say it, the Jordanians, they say it, the Syrians say it, the Saudis say it, the Kuwaitis, all of them say, no, our Arabic is the one that's closest to Fusha. Our Arabic is the one that's the purest. Only Allah knows best. Only Allah knows best which one is closest to the Fusha, but it would seem as though that the people from Yemen, by virtue of the fact that this is where it comes from, it would seem as though that their slang dialect is closest, and Allah knows best. This is debatable, and it probably will be debated until Yawm al-Qiyamah.